Hey, what's up, guys? This is T-Bone here. Welcome to our Tuesday stream, and it is actually their 4th anniversary for the game having introduced VIP. Not to be confused with their 4th year anniversary for the game launching. This is when they introduced VIP. So they've introduced a bunch of different ways for VIPs to get rewards, and we can take a look and see how things go. So we already got some people in the chat. Welcome, everybody. We got William and Cask W. Be Like Billy and Joe Tsang, and also Peter and John Wilson. Welcome to stream. Okay, so let's do this, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to take a look quickly at also the newsfeed just to see what to expect for this particular event, and also look at the huge banners that they're showing here. Basically, if you are VIP for this particular event in the next 24 hours, if you get the ultimate form, you are going to get 2 additional stars, it looks like. And also they're saying that there's going to be something that will happen for everyone. I guess we can take a quick look, right? So they're going to we're going to be celebrating starting tomorrow, right? They're saying the celebrations that begins, and so this is their celebration for 4 years of VIP, and 24 hours. VIPs are going to get everything. If they get an ultimate form, they'll automatically get up to 3 stars. Everyone else gets to 2 stars. And then we're going to get these daily quests also, where we're going to be able to earn additional heroes, kind of like, complete quests. And then if you complete a quest, then we will get a card. We've done that once before, and so I hope that we're going to get something good out of that. Anytime we can get something free, I think it's a good thing. So my hope is that they did the same thing last time, which is they only give you something that you don't already have, which is what happened last time. So it was guaranteed that you were going to get an ultimate form that you didn't have, and I hope that they do this again. And so that's the hope here. And also there's these special gift bags. So special anniversary bosses are going to spawn, and if you defeat these enemies, they're going to get you VIP gift bags and golden VIP gift bags, which can be given to your guildmates using a gift system, and they will contain things like rare heroes and a bunch of other things. And if you defeat them and then you gift each other back and forth, hopefully between that you can get something. So that's sort of like the idea, and then you can also get these frenzies and all kinds of stuff. Lots and lots of text here, but basically if you switch guilds mid-event, so remember this, if you switch guilds mid-event, you're not going to be able to get the care package for 24 hours, so don't switch guilds once the event starts. That's basically what they're saying. And well, if you're a returning player, you're going to get some free heroes. And then they have this whole thing about ambassadors, but I'm not going to talk about that much. And then they're also saying that they're going to improve the rewards this event. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. And so looks like we already got some people got the ultimate form and got it to 3 stars. So that's good. Congratulations for your 3 stars to Be Like Billy. And we also did get indeed. Let's see. We also got these relics. So if you take a look at the age, so I managed to get. So this was the first one I got, and then I was able to open the VIP gift twice. So this one and then the other relic, both Amy's sword, and so I managed to craft the ultimate one. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this effectively, so hopefully in the next few days I'll be able to come up with something that will be able to help you decide on how to use this relic, because what this does is it gives you a conversion of 15 power gems to whatever affinity your lead hero is whenever you use that battle skill. So it could be useful. I just need to figure out the best way to do so. And let's see. So I should call Red Event Streams Chronicles of Red Deck, like the Red Deck. That's pretty funny. So Raz Chaz, do I think that this is the team to craft from the season? Do I think the light is better? Let's talk about it. And my personal opinion right now is that I still think that light is going to be better. That's just my personal thought, but we can go through them after I try and pull them. So let's go ahead. I'm unfortunately a little short on gems, 1,000 gems short. I actually went through every single silver trial boss I could fight. I think I attacked. I had how much? I had like 400 somewhat coins. I used them all. Unfortunately, didn't get a single one that had gems in it. So we can only go up to tier 3 there. So tier 1 didn't get any cards there. So tier 2 we're going to get our support card, and hopefully within these 2 tiers we'll be able to get one of the 2 cards. I'm not going to be able to craft anything either because I used all of my coins last event. And so even if I get one of the 2 this event, unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to craft. And so I'm really just kind of hoping to get one of the 2 cards so I can at least showcase what it's like. And then, see how it goes with the side packs, perhaps, because I will have a little bit of gems left over. So we're going to go ahead and open our 3rd tier. And then afterwards, we're going to talk about the cards themselves. I actually kind of feel like this deck seems like it's strong, but I kind of also wonder if it's going to fall in the same category as some of the other cards that we've seen, which we thought was really strong, but ended up just being okay, kind of like so-so. So we got the main event relic here, Straight Shooter. Okay, and so that is the gold reward that we get. This is a guaranteed relic card. And then we got the Bedeviled Vena. And then for my 3rd card, I get Bowie, which is another support card. And that is going to be it. So unfortunately, kind of not a very good pull. The only extra card I got was the extra support. So we're going to have to talk about the cards. And, this is sort of like the first in a long set of fire events. I haven't gone to hero now because I've generally tried to save all my coins for fire events. But I chose to craft the light deck. And I will talk about whether I think that's the right thing to do, and hopefully help you decide on this as well. So we'll start by taking a look at the ultimate form, and it's called the Waste Warrior. So this is Beast Killer as well. And if you take a look at the cards themselves, this is a nuke card, all right? And the battle skill will also create 14 firepower gem 6s. Now, a single card that will be able to create 14 power gem 6s, it's one of the first we've seen. I think, not the first, I would say, but the first that will consistently do this for you. The other cards that we've seen are, Long Lost Guardians. Not Long Lost Guardians. Yeah, the Lost Kingdom Guardians. Lost Kingdom Guardians has that with the ambush ability, right? 7, and then doubles on the first time you activate it. We have also, the Bloody Mary deck that is capable of generating 30 power gems all at once, and that is another card that can also create a lot. And then we also have the Honorable Luminaries that can do that. So it's not the first time we're seeing this, but this is the first this one consistently will give you 14 every 3 turns. There's no like conditions or anything like that. And it's also nukes. So what this will do is it also gives you a nuke of 100% afterwards. And then for every turn, if you Gem Crush, it will dispel a buff and also increase attack by 60%. So this will work. This would have been really helpful for last event where we had armor to deal with, for example. This would really help with armor to punch through the damage, right? So this gives you a lot of power gems, and it gives you a nuke attack, and then it also gives you a passive ability that allows you to dispel a defender's buff. So that is really good, and you can use this in guild versus guild as well. So things like you can use this dispel to get rid of invulnerability, anything like that that your guild versus guild defender has. You can also dispel it. So it is guaranteed to gem crush as well because of the number of power gems that you're going to get. So that is a guaranteed ability. Okay, so anytime you activate, you're guaranteed to do that. And if we take a look at the Master Collection card, Drifter, this one gives you 14 power gem 6s, and it has the passive that also cleanses the debuff. So in situations where you have like 2 debuffs, like for a particular boss, sometimes they'll do something like a Might and Thorn. So you can dispel both of them. And there's going to be Gem Silence that we have to deal with. So the Master Collection card is going to dispel Gem Silence. And then we have the Ultimate Form that will dispel Weaken. Okay, so Weaken is going to be a problem for any card that we use that boosts, that gives like a damage boost, attack boost, anything like that. And so that is going to cause a little bit of a challenge for what I'm thinking of using, but we'll go into that a little bit. So Bowie Unleashed is the ultra rare card, and this is the one that will give you the nuke damage. In addition to that, it also gives you 6 power gem 6s. So not quite as many as like 14, but you're going to get 6. And then once a turn, if you crush, then it will also dispel the buff and then increase the hero's attack. So wait, I must have read the other one wrong. So ultra rare card is one that gives you a dispel, and the passive also cleanses one debuff whenever this hero attacks. Oh, so whenever you attack, you'll dispel a debuff, one debuff. So that would be something like a gem silence or something like that. But it doesn't clearly say that it cleanses one debuff from all of your team, or it cleanses one debuff on one of your cards. I want to say that the wording here suggests that you can cleanse one whole debuff from your entire team whenever you attack or when you're attacked by an enemy. So that will help you get rid of things like gem silence and power gem silence, things like that. And then the ultra rare card will cleanse the buff on the enemy when you gem crush. And so basically this whole deck, the nice thing about this deck is you are basically going to always you're always going to be able to dispel something. So you don't have to worry about fear, armor, gem silence, power gem silence, anything like that, because as soon as you attack, you're going to cleanse all of those gem silence, and then when you gem crush, you're going to dispel armor. So this deck as a whole has good utility just from the ultimate form. So it is a good card. It does generate a lot of power gems as well. And so for 14 power gems, one of the challenges you're going to face is you're going to crush so many gems that sometimes you fill up the board. You're going to create so many, you're going to end up filling up the board. And when you fill up the board, it crushes into a single row rather than leaving you with some behind, which will, limit the amount of damage you could potentially do if you didn't crush them all. And so that's the only thing, but it's not a bad problem to have a card that gives you too many power gems, because these are power gem 6s. You can crush them to 8s, 10s, 12s. And so I would say overall, this deck has good utility with the cleanse, and I think that you could use the ultimate form in future fire decks as well. So I like both fire and light. And Cass W, thanks again for the donation. Appreciate it very much. Thank you for your continued support. And so Oliver, you're saying that it only cleanses from one card, then that kind of changes things. If it only cleanses from one, this is where I wish I could have tested it for real. If it's only one, then it's less useful, because it basically doesn't. You can't tell which one you're going to dispel from. So if you get hit by gem silence, then it only dispels one of them. Then that is less useful than I thought it would be. Like if I thought that if it would cleanse all things like gem silence and then also dispel a buff, then that would be really, really useful. So this one slightly less useful in my opinion based on that alone. And then so let's take a look at the event card. This is Scrapper. That's kind of interesting. Scrapper is the event card, and it will create 10 fire power gem 4. So pretty strong event card right there on its own. 3-turn cooldown, no other skills, but just a good spawner all around for power gems. So this is a more free to play friendly option. You can use that, and this will also dispel gem silence for you, so it's a good card to have. Generally, sometimes like people who pull a few tiers, sometimes you'll get like multiple event cards and they kind of feel like it's not a good option to get. But in this case, I think it's actually not too bad. Like it will give you at least the power gems you need to do some damage. Power gem 4 is not as useful as it could be, but if you don't have a lot of good cards, this is a pretty good option. Now we have the support card, Bowie. So let's take a look at the battle skill. So Bowie, hey, look at this. It doesn't do a heal anymore. It gives you 3 power gem 3s and 5 regular gems. So now you got a support card that is capable of creating power gems, which is good because if you have a card like, if you have a card like Culinary Kings, this will be very useful. And then the passive ability will also dispel a buff when you crush. And so now if you are dealing with things like, the thing is, there's no buffs here for us to dispel. We have Weaken, and then we have Gem Silence. What is the thing that we're actually dispelling? And Flatline. All of these are debuffs. Okay, so we have Flatline from I think from the Ultra Rare card. We have Power Gem Silence from the Master Collection card, and then we have Weaken, Flatline, and Gem Silence. All 3 are debuffs, so you're not actually going to be able to use the ability to dispel a buff, though. That is... Let me take a look again, right? So we have Weaken, which is a debuff. Then we have Flatline. That's a debuff. And then the last one, as we saw, is Gem Silence, which again is a debuff. And so the deck itself, you're going to be able to dispel one of those things using a single Master Collection card, but you're not going to be able to utilize the ability to dispel the debuff until, or the enemy buff until like another event. So that is just something to realize, that you're not actually going to be able to do anything with those passive abilities this event, but it's actually not too bad. So let's take a look at the support cards, because I actually like it. I actually like the fact that we have a support card that is actually going to be useful now. Okay, and what I want to try and do is, I was trying to figure out what to do with the relic that we have as well. So this is something I'm kind of playing around with. All right, so let's take a look here. And so I'm going to change my deck around a little bit. I'm going to use the 2 support cards that we have, and then see what we can do with it. And let's take a look in the chat here. So to go back to your question, Rizzo Chaz, I think that it could be, if you don't have a good fire deck that generates a lot of power gems for you, I think that it is a decent choice. I think it's a decent choice to have. But I think that overall, for the best utility wise, I still think that the light deck is going to be best for you. So here is what I'm going to use, and let's go ahead and change this to Slayer, and we're going to choose Beast Killer. So I'm going to grab the 2 support cards since I did get them. So we're going to grab the 2 Bowies here, and let's see. So for me, I kind of feel like, well, if this is what I'm going to go with, then I will probably go with, let's try this, right? I think it's probably better to go with prime bovines in this case for me, but let's just play around with this a little bit. So we're going to go and use some Fire Slayer. So we have our 1 relic, and let's see which one is this. This is Immortal Killer. I don't have an Immortal Killer here. That's going to be Annabelle Luminaries. But what we can do is, this one will be Chaos. I don't think I have. I think I do. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to, where is my relic? There it is. And let's go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and play this deck, and we'll kind of test it out just to see. And actually, now that I realize what I wanted to show you, I'm also going to swap this out. Actually, I'm going to swap this out for a water card. I'm going to swap this out for the Lost Kingdom Guardians. And then I'm going to switch out one of the relics to be, I don't know actually what the right one would be, but I'm going to equip this just to see. So would Vanguard would Vanguard Contessa Reforged debuff? So I don't remember what the Reforged one does, but the original Contessa will dispel Gem Silence, depending on your intensity. You had to have what is it? You had to have what was that again? Noble intensity, I think. Noble? Is it noble? Honor intensity, I think it was. Anyways, unfortunately I can't do it on the silver keys. So what we're going to do is we're going to try on so you can see here I used up all of my chances for the silver trial boss, couldn't get it. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I need cores, and so I guess I don't want to go against Quetzalcoatl, because I need the Quetzalcoatl core actually. And if I use this, it reduces the chance of me getting a core. So I'm actually going to go against a different boss right now. So let's go against Rilka, since I have a lot of tokens for it. And so this is not going to be me, trying to damage it. I just wanted to sort of test it out and sort of show you how this all works. And so let's use the team that we just built, and let's play around with it a little bit. if I can find it. So this is the team 2. We're going to test this out. So we're going to, the reason I'm bringing Lost Kingdom Guardians is because I don't need to have water relics to get it to power up. And what I can do is I could use my relic to actually, you know, actually I don't want to do this. I actually want to switch out. So Ring Royalty will destroy non-fire gems. It doesn't destroy all of them, but I don't want to destroy any power gems if possible. So like what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to make my Culinary Kings be the leader so that I don't accidentally do I do that? This is actually really interesting. Culinary Kings is a bad choice too because it's going to create, then it's going to upgrade, and then I'm going to convert my power gems. So I'm going to make Bowie my leader instead. I guess that's what we'll do. So let's go ahead and play this a little bit. So let's go ahead and try this out. And there's actually quite a bit of chat over here. So let's see. So Cascade, you didn't get anything from Vault 3 tiers. You got nothing. So yeah, unfortunately, same with me. I only got the support card. But let's test out this right now. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going to showcase how the relic works, right? And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to activate Lost Kingdom Guardians. This gives me 14 Power Gem 5s, which is good. And then I'm going to activate the support card. That gives me some Power Gems. And I'm going, if I activated, if I went and activate Ring Royalty, it actually destroys some of my water Power Gems, which is unfortunate. Now I'm going to activate the support card again, and you see what happened there was it went ahead and, you know, converted all of those Power Gem 5s into red Power Gems, and then it crushed into Power Gem 8s. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate my Culinary Kings, get myself up to Power Gem 10s. And so this is a way for you to be able to, I guess I should have just used one key to attack because I'm not really doing attack for damage. I'm just using this to showcase how it works. So like the idea really is you could use this to get more power gems of your color that you're lacking by using another one that, you know, that you don't really have to charge up for. Some other application could be like if you wanted to use a off affinity card that gives you buff, for example, like high performance unit area, what it does is it will always create gems dark gems whenever you attack. And you create power gems also. So what you can do is you can convert it. You can convert it to the color of your choice, and you can upgrade or do something. So there's a lot of utility actually for the relic. It's just, you know, you have to really think about it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to activate this first. Then we're going to activate this again. All of these gems will change color. Now I can go ahead and, you know, that would have been the right order. Now I can break it. And now I have slightly better looking power gems. We have 12s and 11s in the mix now. So this is going to be a little bit higher damage output. And so I like the support card in this case. The support card is actually useful here. You know, not as strong, but it's definitely stronger than a lot of the support cards we've seen. This is one of those cases where, like, you know, if you got nothing but support cards, you could still do something. You could still do something as opposed to just heal, right? Before, the support cards really were only useful for healing, but now it's actually a card that can give you some power gems. And if you have upgrades with, you know, if you can upgrade using your Culinary Kings, then that helps. Now, see what happens here, because I don't have any power gems that's in a different color, it doesn't do any conversion. So all it does is it gives me power gems, and that's all it does. But like having Culinary Kings here is going to be very useful, and you know, you can see how this works. So for me, like if I were to build up a team, definitely going to want to keep it in there, but I am worried about power gem silence. That is the one thing that I'm going to have to deal with. And so if I were to build out you know, an actual team, I'm going to be using Ring Royalty. Now, I don't know that I would use my tokens. I don't know I would use my Proving Ground coins on Ring Royalty by itself. Actually, there's, you know, better options in the store for you to use on rather than this. But I feel that, you know, for me, like I'll use it just because I need to. I don't have any other Fire Beast Killer that I can use. So this is what I'm going to use. Now, the problem here is this deck is going to have a every turn it gives me an attack boost, and if I get hit by weaken every turn, I'm going to not be able to do that. Okay, and I'm not going to be able to use that. I can use my battle skill, but I will not be able to get that attack boost. I do get a free revive, so that is what I will put in there. And then like, let's take a look at the other Fire Slayer options. Okay, so if we take a look at the Fire Slayer cards, I mean, I have a lot to choose from because fire is sort of like the main one that I've chosen to go with. You know, Honor Bell Luminaries is just like Lost Kingdom Guardians. It also gives you 14 power gems, but it doesn't have haste. Not haste. Yeah, it doesn't have haste. It has ambush instead. It gives you you know, it gives you the double number of power gems, so it gives you 14 the first time you activate it, but then it doesn't have any more after that. This one also strikes an additional time, so this one has exactly the same abilities, where after you activate this card and then you attack, you're also going to nuke a second time. So theoretically, you could put Honorable Luminaries with this ultimate form. You're both going to be attacking, but the ultimate form obviously is going to do more damage. All right, and with Culinary Kings, it's also not a bad idea sometimes to just combine it with Master Chef to give you that additional power gem upgrade. And so in this case, we got Honor Bell Luminaries, and here's another card that also gives you a nuke. So Prime Bovines also is a nuke card. Have you guys noticed that these Fire Slayer cards have been following a very similar pattern? So we got Prime Bovines that gives you an additional attack for 100% the next turn. We've got Honorable Luminaries that gives you a bonus attack for 100% in the next attack. And now we have this current ultimate form that will give you also again another 100% attack, 100% nuke on the next attack. So that's the Fire Slayer. Whereas the Fire Commander, for the last few events, they've been following a pattern of, damage to all Fire Commanders. And so I'm noticing a little bit of a pattern here. So like if you use Bovines and you use Honor Bell Luminaries and also the current event ultimate form, well, you're going to be getting a lot of, nukes. Okay. The problem here is in Slayer events, every time you send off a nuke, another person is going to come in and attack. And then you're going to, so let's say I attack with this Bovines and the current ultimate form, and then I do an attack. I'm going to spend the next 5 minutes waiting for a nuke to hit, someone else to attack, then my nuke to go in, someone else to attack, and then my third nuke to go in, and then someone else to attack. So that is something to watch out for if you're going to use these cards. And now let's go ahead and test out this deck. So let's see, it's perfect that Cast W, it's perfect that support cards have 3 power gem 3s on their battle skill, at least better, no heal. So like, I don't think that the heal really is something that I will miss. I like the fact that it gives you power gems. I actually prefer that. Okay, so now let's take a look, right? So here is, basically, this is the deck that I might go with, but I'm going to have to adjust for Gem Silence. So I'm going to have a team for Gem Silence, but I think that's going to be it. And maybe Weekend, because Weekend is going to be an issue for me. And so this is why, I say that, Light is a good option for you, because you can do something similar to this. Like you can use the Light deck. In fact, I'm going to show you after this. So like basically you can see like with Honor Bell Luminaries, you're going to have a problem where you're not going to have as many power gems afterwards. So you're going to see here, the nice thing about Bovines is it has a 2-turn cooldown. Everything else is 3-turn cooldown here. So it's not too bad. And so you can see here the number of power gems you're going to create with Honor Bell Luminaries decreases by by half, because it only gives you 7 afterwards. But it's not, it's not too bad. And so this is actually a better board here. And then so you can see you can still do some good damage. It's just that with this particular setup, I'm not taking advantage of any attack boost or any damage boost or anything like that. So it's not going to give you the most amount of damage. If I were to build up a deck that really will take advantage of like the most amount of damage, I might do something like this. I might do something like, I might change this out just to see, because I I might keep it in, I might change it out, but I'm not saying that this is the deck I'm going to go with. But here's an example, right? So I can do something like this. I can go with a Commander Immortal. So we can go with the Immortal route because we're using Honor Bell Luminaries that also nukes, right? So now what we have is, let's assume for a second that we don't care about relics. Let's just assume that we don't care about, relics breaking beast shields. All right, so we're gonna do something like this just so that I could, actually activate, my dark cards. Just for the sake of argument here, and then so what's gonna happen here is, what would be the best? Bovine probably. Yeah, probably bovine. So what will happen here is I'm going to show you how this could potentially be useful. And so now what I'm doing is I'm building a deck that uses a attack boost that will boost all immortals. And you could argue that, hey, why not just use Perceptive Gurus? You could. You totally could. And in fact, that might be better. I'm just trying to also utilize this with the relic that I have here to see if I can make something of it. All right. And so here we have, we've got, unfortunately I didn't match it now. So I'm going to match this again, and I'm going to wait one, I guess it doesn't really matter, but like if I were to play it for real, this is how I would have played it. I'm going to be, basically what I'm doing is I am building up the number of dark power gems I have for two reasons. One, it will help prevent some gem crush, and two, afterwards, I can then go ahead and build them all up. So I'm going to go ahead and do this once again. We'll go ahead and match this, get some more dark power gems to be spawned up. Okay, and now I'm going to activate. Well, this is okay because I'm up against Eureka, so we'll just assume that this is, a dark gems. And so what I can do is I could actually do this. I could actually go ahead and activate it. It's going to convert everything back. And now I have Power Gem 10s here. So now I'm going to have Power Gem 10s and 8s. So like now what I have is I also have all of my Immortal cards being boosted. And I have all these, Power Gems that have been upgraded. And so that works as well in a sense. Like this is me trying to force that relic into this space. But I would say that, honestly, like I may just choose to go with Perceptive Gurus if I wanted to go with a boost there. But the problem is with both Perceptive Gurus and also High Performance Unit area, you need to get hit. You need to get hit by the boss, which in a Slayer event, that means you're going to be turning into a 3-turn deck. So it's not going to be great if you want to go with that. The other alternative is to go with Jailers, which is Arcane, but that is also kind of like, harder to control because you also need to make sure you have, you need to make sure that you have turn delay. But there's really no turn delay for fire cards. Fire cards are known for not having turn delay. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this instead. I'm going to use Arcane Commander, and I'm going to put in Circuit Break Hilaria instead. All right. So I'm going to put in a Circuit Break Hilaria, and what I'm going to do is I'll put one of them for now. Like you could probably put two, and I need to put in a Fire Arcane card in here. And so that's going to be the Prime Bovines. So Prime Bovines is going to be my, my main Arcane card. And I'm going to switch out the relics here. So I'm going to go ahead and change this now to Arcane Killer. We can do this because I'm just saying, like, assume that we're not worried about breaking the shields. Okay, so I'm doing this with basically disregarding shields for now, just to kind of show you like how this team could theoretically work. Now, if we were to play this deck, what you've got is you've got a Arcane boosting deck with this setup. If you have the current event ultimate form, you could just replace the Ring Royalty with it, to be honest with you, and you're going to get the nukes in there. And this one is going to be super easy. You just need to make sure that you have at least 8 power gems on the board. You activate, now you have your boost, and then you just go ahead and activate everything, and you can activate your Culinary Kings last. We get power gem 10s here, which is okay. And then now we have our bovines. getting the Arcane boost plus a nuke damage. So this is going to give you an increased amount of damage overall. So this is another option. Fire decks have a lot of options. You can do a lot of different variations with fire. As you can see here, I'm just kind of like, showing you like all these different options here, and you could really do some creative decks, I think, with fire. So that's why I enjoy building a fire, using, and crafting them with my coins. It's just that I really felt that the light deck is a good option here. Like if you take a look here, here's another example. I'm going to switch this out. I'm gonna do something interesting here. I'm gonna show you, right? So like I talk about the fire. I talk about the light cards, and another thing that the reason why I like the star song wolf pack, and we're going to put that, and we're going to use the support the ultra rare card here, Full Moon Lunaris, and let's bring back our. I wish I remember what its category is going to be, but I'm going to bring back the relic. I'm going to bring back the ultimate relic here, okay? And I'm going to show you what this is about, okay? And let's see. I just see Lapukan in the chat here. Welcome to the stream here. Okay, so let's go ahead and test this out. I'm going to show you what this is like, right? So this is a card that gives you an upgrade as well. And so what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to upgrade my light pirate gems, and then I'm going to upgrade them after I convert them to fire. Now, what I want to do is I want to make sure that I got the right one. So this one is going to, yes. This is going to create 7 and then upgrade all of them by 2. So this is what I'm looking for. Now, let's test this out and kind of see now what this is like, okay? I'm just going to activate one. Although the problem is I need to have light relics in order to activate them, but that's not going to be a big problem because I'm going to be able to have Rilka help me. And also the fact is I create light gems passively every turn too. Okay, and so now what I have is this. Okay, so I have power gems, light power gems, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create light power gems and then upgrade. Then I'm going to upgrade some more, and I'm going to create these power gems, and then I'm going to upgrade them again. All right, so now I've got power gem 14 and 13s in here, and this is going to, right here, what I just did there, that's going to give you probably a lot of damage. I wish I could test it out in the event, but this is another idea. Okay, so what you can do is you could use this option here, and what's nice is Prime Bovines has a 2-turn cooldown. It's just that you kind of have to wait for, it's like every time I activate, okay, and I can do this again. I can upgrade them again. Now I'm up to 12. Okay, I'm going to combine them. And then like if I were to upgrade, I'll get another 14 and stuff like that. So I can keep doing this. Every 2 turns I can do this. And then if I had, I actually think that this is a, I'm going to test this out in the event because I actually think that this is the reason why I wanted to go with the upgrade deck. Upgrade cards give you a lot of flexibility and it gives you a lot of freedom to give you like free upgrade to your damage. Okay, so we're going to do this one more time. We're going to upgrade, and then we're going to convert. Then we're going to upgrade some more. Right? So now consistently 14s. I don't see any 16s yet, but you can see you don't generally get a lot of 14s regularly easily. Okay, and so this is something that I think could be useful. So this is not the event deck. Like I'm not using event deck, but I actually kind of feel like, well, what you'll get really out of it is you'll put the event ultimate form as the card that gives you the boost. The only problem you have to deal with is making sure that you can deal with gem silence. If there's gem silence on the board, then you have to worry about that. If there's weaken, that's something we have to work with. So let's take a look and see what we dispel here. So here's Prime Bovines. We dispel poison. That doesn't help us. This one dispels alacrity. Doesn't help us. Culinary Kings dispels chaos. Doesn't help us there. Star Song Wolfpack is armor. That doesn't help. And then I think the other one is chaos. So unfortunately, this particular setup, it doesn't help us dispel weaken. It doesn't help us dispel gem silence. So that is something that will be a problem. So like we're gonna have to like adjust it a little bit. Maybe we take out prime bovines. Maybe we put something else in there that can give you the dispel. But it's just I actually think that this is a really cool way to sort of play that. And so let's see. So we got Flamebound Taurus that has a delay. Let's see. Flamebound Taurus, which is a commander card. Right. So commander card has Flamebound Taurus. I guess it does have a delay, doesn't it? Let's see. Flamebound Taurus, it's a beast killer card as well, and every 5th attack it'll increase the attack's turn by 1. And I think Culinary Kings, I think does it okay, I think it's a passive ability where if you have more power gens, then you increase it. Okay, so I take that back. It's not that no fire cards have turn delays. Clearly there's at least 2 there, so thanks for the clarification there. But I guess what we could do is we could use that option also. Like, so Prime Bovines is Arcane Killer. And so what we could do is we could use one of these cards. We can convert that. We can use Jailers here. So now we have Jailer, or we could have, Jailer is the one that we're going to use if we want to take advantage of the turn delay. But my honest opinion is that I'm not sure that I like using Jailers as much in these off affinity matches, off affinity teams, just because the 6-turn cooldown really is a lot. And if you don't have a card that can give you consistent turn delay, you're not going to be able to get a lot of use out of it. But I guess in this particular case, and here we have a 5-turn cooldown too. Okay, so this one also has a 5-turn cooldown. So you're not going to be able to take advantage of the Jailer boost for 5 turns in either case. And so it's not going to be ideal. At least that's how I feel. But this actually surprisingly is a pretty good. I think this deck, surprisingly, I think will probably work. Now, depending on your relic situation, you're probably going to have to, put in relics that will be able to help you break the beast shield. But this looks interesting. This looks like it could be useful. In fact, like you could. Honestly, like it's one of those things where, do you really need all 3? Well, the idea is you can upgrade it 3 times up, by 3 ranks, 6 ranks. So why not, right? And it's arguable whether it's better to use Master Chef in this case rather than this. I like using Full Moon Lunaris in this case simply because it also gives you. It also gives you 5 Power Gem 6s at the beginning of every turn. So you're getting free Power Gems that you can use to then upgrade. And so that is going to be something that I think will be useful. So let's take a look here. I missed a lot of chat. Holy cow. There's a lot of messages here. So let me take a quick look here. So the ultimate form will dispel buff and debuff. That's nice. And so yeah, so like I said, it is something that you can use for guild versus guild. And Con William Deep, it dispels on attack. It's a Slayer event. You should be able to dispel all your cards in between the 3-turn cooldown. And so I suppose, right? Like I think that what I'm saying here is it diminishes the amount of like points I would give it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad deck either. But I feel personally that I don't regret going with the light cards personally. I see a lot of use for it in all light situations, like all light events, and I'm going to try and find a way to use it in this particular event. So let's see, we got Mark King. Would it be better to buy these 2 cards to get Ultimate Form to 3 stars, or to have the light team from the last event? So to give you an idea of what it means to have your Ultimate Form at 3 stars. So we can actually take a look in the store here because it gives you a better idea. So with the ultimate forms nowadays, what you're how should I do this? Okay, here you go. So the thing is, up until 3 stars, you're not gaining anything other than stats boost, and you're not getting additional Slayer damage. Okay, so it stays at 900%. Now you are going to be able to upgrade it more. Okay, so that is one thing. So you're going to be able to level it higher, so you're going to have better base stats. Aside from that, you're going to get better Dispel. So your Dispel goes to level 7 instead of level 6. And so that's going to increase your, make it almost guaranteed that you're going to Dispel Weaken, for example, if you have Discard. But besides that, getting a 3-star hero isn't going to show, you're not going to see a significant difference until 4 stars. Once you get to 4 stars, then obviously that makes a big difference, and that will allow you to get to 4 stars easier if you pull a second ultimate form and a second ultra rare card, a second master collection card. So getting to 4 stars becomes a bigger deal. And so to answer your question, long answer short, it is entirely up to you. I think that between these two, the light and the fire, I think they're both good. So if you want to take advantage of your VIP situation and get it to 3 stars because you have an opportunity to, like, let's say, craft a shiny card, okay, and maybe you get a second ultimate form, ultra rare card, that gives you 4 stars. That gives you a 4-star ultimate form. Now you have at 4 stars, the upgrades become a lot bigger. Okay, so at 4 stars now, you're looking at 4 stars. You're looking at increased killer skill. So at 4 stars, you're looking at killer skill of, just 1,000. So it increases by 100. It's still something, all right? And your Dispel, I think, stays, your Dispel now goes up to 8. So this is absolutely guaranteed to be dispelling every single time. Even against Radiance, you're going to have an increased chances because it'll be 8 versus 7 as opposed to 8 versus 6. So you're still going to be having increase. Whereas like before with Radiance, it's going to be 7 for the boss versus your 6 at 1 star. So then you're going to get hit with it more often. So this will increase the chances of you dispelling. That's going to be nice. And again, as always, it is going to be higher stats, so bigger attack. So that is one angle to look at it. The other angle is from the light perspective. Well, if you have, if you want to do well in future light events, then I would go with the light. If you want to do really well in fire, and the fire is sort of like the main attack team that you like to go with and you have options, then go with that. Either way, I don't think you're necessarily going to go wrong. So it ultimately comes down to your choice. Okay. And so that would be my suggestion. So Cask W, the support card from Honorable Luminaries, we'll take a look at that. Luminaries even spawns Power Gems too, as only on Ambush. Yeah, so if you take a look at the Slayer Immortal Killer, the support card is, what is the card? It's going to be this card right here, I think. Emmeline, Unseen Assassin. So the first time you activate when you ambush, it also creates 2, but it creates 2 Power Gems in addition to the 10 Fire Gems after that, so you create 12 total. But after that, nothing. Whereas with the current support card, you're creating 3 Power Gems every 3 turns, so you guarantee to have something. So it's useful. It's something you can use. And let's see, Mr. Monkey, hello, welcome to the stream there. And Cast W, T-Bone, could you explain how the gift back works? So I think the gift back is just you attack boss, and when you attack boss, you're dropped with a gift, and then you give the gift to your whoever you want, and they'll get something, and hopefully you get a gift back in return. It's all it is you're just gonna get a bunch of gifts, and you attack bosses. They're gonna give you gifts, and then after that, you trade or do whatever you want with them, and hopefully one of those things is gonna get you a nice card that you can use. It doesn't specify what cards you get though, so they contain a wide berth of rewards, including rare heroes. But they don't say from what event. So I don't know if the rare heroes are going to be from this event or from previous events. But I think if you can get something like an ultimate form out of it, like a master collection card, an ultra rare card, I think that's all going to be really good options. So let's see. So Cesar, which team would I choose? You have to make this one with fire or the one of the dark cards. Ooh, dark gives you 1 upgrade as opposed to like giving you 2. But if you're asking me, would I choose dark versus light? I guess that's a hard question to answer because I don't know enough about the dark one. So let's take a look at the season here, and let's take a look at the old Ultimate form, right? So this one, Scallywag, I believe this one also has really good reviews. A lot of people really like them. This gives you 8 Power Gems 6s. It upgrades them all by 1. It increases the damage by 80%, and you also create additional Power Gems every time you attack. And so this is a deck that is also very strong. So it depends on what you're looking for. I would say, for me personally, the fire one is good for the event, and if you have like really good fire deck, that will complement well. If you're looking for cards that have higher utility, personally, upgrade and damage increase and upgrades are the way to go for me. So I would actually say, if you're looking between dark and fire, probably dark. But then if you're not going to be able to do well at all this event by not crafting the fire deck, then that's a decision you're going to have to make. Any other cards there? So Mike Pereira, take out Luminaries and put in the Samurai. So the Samurai is, I forget the name of it now. So that's Noble, right? So if I were to put that instead, because I already took out Honorable Luminaries. So the other Fire Slayer option is the Noble Killer, which is going to be, what's the deck called? Clandestine Clan. And this one gives you, whenever you Gem Crush, you heal and it dispel all debuffs. So now this one is the perfect option to, so this is actually a really good option. So this is the deck, this is the card, and I think it also has a 2-turn cooldown. 3-turn cooldown, so that's okay. So this one will now, it's not going to nuke, but what this will do is this will now allow me to play my event without actually worrying about Gem Silence. I don't have to worry about weekend or anything like that. So this is a really good card, because you're pretty much always going to get gem. You're pretty much always going to be able to get a gem crush, and so this is a really good. This is actually a really good suggestion. So let's go ahead and try this out. Not that I'm going to get any debuffs, but this is how you would play this deck, right? So with that setup, it's really no different, and I'm kind of sticking with this team right here. Although, like I said, you could go with you could choose something else other than the light cards, but I kind of like this option because I'm also utilizing the relic here. Now the danger of using this relic is that I'm not going to be able to break the shield, but what I'm going to try and do is find enough ultimate relics, if I have them, to break the beast. If I don't, then I can't use them. But I kind of feel like this is just fun to use. I just like it. I just think it's interesting and it's fun to try out. And so in this particular case, let's say we get hit by a let's say we got hit by something by weekend or something like that. Well, if you can activate something so that you can get so you activate this, so you can get Gem Crush. Now you're going to get all of them. All of them will be dispelled. And now I can go ahead and upgrade everything. And then now I can go ahead and create this. But because I only have my ultimate form, my ultimate relic at 1 star, I can only upgrade 15 of those, as opposed to 2 pink stars where I can upgrade 25. And so in that particular case, I had so many light power gems I couldn't upgrade them all. And so that is the sort of thing. I'm going to play around with it, but this is just, an idea to try out. But if you're having issues with dispelling, then putting in I'm just gonna go ahead and put the fire cards back in here. Then you would go ahead and put in clandestine clans, and that would be an option for you. And so you can do something like this. And now probably I'm still trying to decide between whether I use Honorable Luminaries or Prime Bovines. Honorable Luminaries is good for like the initial burst. Get a lot of power gems in there, get the Gem Crush, and then you can upgrade. With the Prime Bovines, what you're getting is the additional damage and then nuke afterwards. This one gives you 6 6s, but you also get additional power gems there. So like, you know, I think it all works out well. It all depends on what you like. So it depends on what you have and what you like also. And so this is, you know, like I think that this is also a good option here. You won't be able to dispel any buffs, but there's no buffs to worry about. You're not going to worry about flatline either, really. Most times you're not really going to depend on reviving in a Slayer event anyways, and so that's not something I'm to worry about. It's the weekend and the gem silence that you really have to take care of, and that is something that clandestine is going to help you take care of, and so that is something that you can use also. So let's see. Flamebound Taurus also had. Okay, yeah. So that was the answer to my response to my claim that there is no turn delays, but people have already answered that. Okay, and so the Reaper. What do I think on the other hand? What do I think on the other ultimate forms this particular season? You're thinking about crafting the dark one. Yeah. So if you like, I guess I already answered you. I think if you like the dark, I like it too. Like I said, any thing that gives you a upgrade or damage upgrade is going to be good. In this particular case, the dark one gives you both, and so you're going to have a good dark deck. Like your dark deck moving forward will always be helped by the Scallywags, and so I think that is a good choice also. And Robertson, fans in Brazil are asking for translation. I know I try to do it and I couldn't keep it up. I apologize for that. I will look for ways to do translations more often in the future. So thank you for that. Thank you for your support. Let's see. So dark. Can you go ahead and use the season coins on the Earth Slayer deck because you have the ultra rare? You can if you want, right? I don't remember much about the Earth one. So Dark one gives you damage boost and also upgrade, so that's why it's good. The Light one gives you an upgrade by 2, so that's also going to be really good. The Fire deck is what you're going to be using this particular event, and so I feel like it's something that you could benefit from right away. Oh my gosh, what am I clicking on? Clicking on the wrong thing. I was trying to view the season. And so if we take a look at this particular season's Earth ultimate form, this is the bunny deck, and I couldn't remember it. So it's Arcane, Royal Rabbits, deals double store damage of the strongest attack. Oh, okay. So this is one where, because it also is Arcane Killer, if you pair it with so what you would do is you would pair this with Protectors of Prosperity, and then you pair it with something else, potentially Jailers. That's like the most most obvious option. And what you do is you get damage boost, you get attack boost, and then afterwards you can use this battle skill to deal double the strongest attack here. So this is another card that could have good nuke potential, but it needs a lot of other cards to go with it. So for this card to really be beneficial, you need to have certain cards. So if you don't have those cards, you're not going to get the most out of it. So you're probably better off getting something else. Now, what you're saying is you have one ultimate form for the Earth Slayer deck. You want one ultra rare card you want to get ultimate form, go for it. But keep in mind, if you don't have certain cards, it will not have the most damage output, which is something that not everybody has. And they get this card and then they realize, hey, I don't actually deal as much damage as I saw other people do. The reason is because you don't have the cards that boost the damage. So that's something to be careful of. And I guess I might as well talk about the water one, whether that's going to be a good option. It's been 5 weeks, so I can't quite remember this one. So 12th day, it is one that will cleanse all debuffs and heal. And then it basically creates power gems. And you know what? This is like a pure debuff deck, a pure cleanse deck, and I can't remember if it's any good. So I'm going to leave it to the chat to say whether they like the fire deck or not, the water deck or not. But I don't know that it was. I don't remember it being like spectacular compared to some of these other ones. So Scallywags is, I think, a really good option. I think that the ultimate form here which is a Star Song Wolfpack is a really good option. I think that if you have the right cards for it, then Royal Rabbits could be something that you could use in the future. Like I could have used it. I could have definitely benefited from it, but I don't have the ultimate form here, which is unfortunate. And then also, I think that the fire one, it's good, but I think that, you know, it doesn't really have a good damage boost. It has some attack boost. It doesn't really have an upgrade like, you know, like the Culinary Kings, for example. This deck, personally, I'm just saying, it has good power gen spawn ability, so there's something that's good there. It can dispel, which is good, but like it's not going to be that like consistently. It may not be the ultimate form you're consistently gonna say, oh, it's a must-have. Okay, like this deck is not a must-have for fire, like unlike the light one, which say almost a must-have for light. So something to think about. So Li Shang, you already got your 3 stars. You can craft just one more for your 4-star pink, or craft the ultimate form for the last Water Slayer event. Like I said, I don't know enough about the water one to say like, oh, is it really good? Is that even one that you're going to want to use in every event? Like, yes, you're going to get the dispel, which is good. But in my opinion, right, like 4 stars is going to give you more advantage this event. I would talk to others who have the water ultimate form to see if it's worth it. I don't know that it's worth it. I don't know how good it is, but then again, general consensus is probably better to get as many ultimate forms as you can. So if you already have one that you could potentially just craft for it, you know, go for that. So the drawback for not getting your 4 stars is you're losing 100% in your damage boost, and you will have a slightly less chance of dispelling against radiant bosses. That's pretty much what you are losing out on. So if you feel like that's okay, then I'll go ahead and get the water one, which I think is okay. Katrina, between water and earth, if you have the following cards, I would say earth. If you have Protectors of Prosperity, okay, if you have this one, then definitely, because this one will give you a 500% damage boost, and then or not 500% damage boost, this one gives you 2000% attack boost. That's going to make your card deal a lot of damage already, and then you're going to be able to do a double nuke on that like every couple turns. So that'll be good, but the problem is it has a 3-turn cooldown, which for a Slayer event is kind of slow. So I remember that being the flaw. It's a 3-turn cooldown for the nuke, so you're not going to use it as well. Jailers, to an extent, is a card that I think, you know, helps it a lot because it's Arcane Killer. So that's another one that if you have it, you could use it. So that is what you have going for it. The water one, it's mostly dispels, and you get your. I know that you spawn power gens when you activate. I just don't remember how good it really is. So I will probably say go with the earth, because I think there's more opportunities for you to do some good damage with that in the future. That's my opinion right now. Nikolai, what single card would I advise to take? So if you already have yellow, then that means you don't need to worry about the yellow one. Then I would take the dark card. If you can't form an ultimate form, that's why you're just going to craft a single one, then I would probably go with the dark one. And in terms of the dark, the one that you want to get is the one that gives you upgrade, I think. So this one is going to give you... well, this one's going to be a tricky one. So whether you want 80% damage boost for dark cards, or if you want to upgrade all of your cards by 1 rank. That one is a tough one. I think that upgrading by 1 rank is actually not as strong as 80% damage boost. And so with 80% damage boost, I think it outperforms a single rank upgrade. So if you're going to get one, I would probably say Captain Saltmane is probably a slightly better as a single card to get. But like I said, if you can get an ultimate form, you should focus on that. And so Ben Circuit, water is okay for Guild vs. Guild if you have Lost Kingdom Guardians. I think it's because does it get powered up because of turn delay? So this one delays all cards by 1. So on the attack, delay all enemy buffs. If there are no buffs, then delay all enemies turn it by 1. And it creates so that's the ultimate form. Master Collection card. On attack, dispel all buffs, and if there's no buffs, then delay. So this is like another deck that has a bunch of delay also, right? And this one cleanses debuff and then heals. Yeah, so I can't really speak to it, but I know that people have shown some good success with it. But it's just that I personally don't have it, so I couldn't really answer that. Okay, so now what people are saying is water is great for Guild vs. Guild. It pairs well with the Water Slayer ultimate form from before with the turn delay, which is going to be the Wave Breakers. So I have that also. So if you take a look at the water one, so if you have so Wave Breakers, the reason why it works well with Wave Breakers is because whenever you have a turn delay, it gives you additional power gems. Okay, so whenever a hero delays the enemy's turn, you create 4 power gem 4s, and that will give you a lot of power. It has a 5 turn cooldown for turn delay also when you attack, and so you're basically doing a lot of turn delays here, and so that is what people are saying who have used it. And it also mixes well with the Water Slayer out the form. Yeah, so that's what, I think that's what I was saying. It works well with Wave Breaker. So I guess at the end of the day, all of them are gonna be good. But what you've heard so far is that there's cards that you have to mix with it in order to make it good. So Water one mixes well with Wave Breaker, and it works well with Lost Kingdom Guardians. The Dark one, Scallywag, well, it boosts and it upgrades so it can work in any deck. The Earth one really only shines if you can pair it with either Jailers or Protectors of Prosperity. The Light one gives you, I guess that's probably better for me to show you rather than just kind of say the words. So Water, you kind of need this. You need Wave Breakers or Lost Kingdom Guardians. Scallywags, you can use on its own. Royal Rabbits, you kind of need Protectors of Prosperity or Jailers, one of the two, or anything else that boosts. The Light one boosts itself. And the Fire one, like it could work on its own also, but it doesn't have enough boost, so it kind of needs help from other cards also. So just from that standpoint, I personally feel that having Water, I personally feel that the Light and the Dark have an edge. And with this card, with Royal Rabbits, I'm not saying that it won't work without any booster cards. What I'm saying is the best damage you can get here is by having some sort of a boost added to it. And once you can boost it in some way, then you're going to get the most amount of damage you can get. And then that is where the double nuke, like the dealing double the damage on the following attack or as a battle skill, that's where it really shines. So in my opinion, you rather get a card that can boost others as opposed to a card that needs to be boosted by something you don't have. That is generally what I would think, but depending on what cards you have, you may already have all of those cards that support it, then you might as well get it because it's going to give you that benefit. And Bent Circuit, that's exactly what I was saying, is that 3 turn cooldown in a Slayer event kind of sucks, right? You use it once, if you don't kill the boss, well, you're going to have to wait 3 turns before you can go again, and that generally is a little bit too slow in Slayer events. Like the Fire one, the same card that has the same capability in Fire, Steel Force, it also gives you a nuke, but it has a 1 turn cooldown, right? So in the Commander event, it has a 1 turn cooldown, which doesn't make sense. Like you should be able to do it in Slayer, but so that's the disadvantage to that deck. So I will go back to this. I like cards that boost itself. So I think Light is going to be a good option. Dark is going to be a good option. Everything else is going to be just what your preference is going to be. I don't think any of those is going to be a bad choice. I don't think there's like one that's like a terrible ultimate form. I feel like the teams generally have been relatively good. And we got 100 viewers. Yeah, hey, that's awesome. Thanks for joining me for this long stream right now. And so that's going to be it from me, guys. I think that my take on this deck is that it's a really good power gen spawner deck, and it has, you know, good capabilities for dispel buffs. And, you know, in this event with a 3-turn cooldown, you could potentially, you know, dispel everything with the ultimate form and also the ultra rare card. I think you should be able to, I think you'll be able to dispel everything, right? Yeah, so you should be able to dispel everything as long as you have one Master Collection card and the ultimate form by the time you need to activate it again. But I think that, you know, it's not a must have for fire for me. It's not like the must have. The light one, it's almost like you should definitely get it. And so, same with dark. Okay, dark has more damage boost though. There's more cards that upgrade and give you damage boost already. Light, I haven't seen one that has it. And so light will benefit more from Star Song Wolves than dark will benefit from Scallywags. That's my personal take right now. Okay. And so Nigger7, thank you for joining. Have a good night. And thank you very much, everybody. So let's see. Iton, are those gold and blue Amy's relics in useful in any way? Yeah, so I showed it a little bit. I'm not going to show it again, but I think that there's going to be a lot of use for it in different situations. Definitely going to try and make a video out of that for the next video. So that's going to be it from me, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully this has been useful for you for various things. And let me know in the comments below what you think and what you end up going with if you use your coins to craft something other than the fire deck. What did you go with and why?